This is the one piece of advice that male dating coaches get all wrong when it comes to women. Don't text her in between dates, guys. Keep it cool. I don't know where that came from, but the only woman that you're going to attract with this type of tactical based strategy is emotionally unavailable women. All this is going to do is trigger an anxious or avoidant woman's fear of abandonment. And it works to get laid because she'll be thinking and ruminating about you and then wanting to try and win your attention and your affection. But then 6 months from now, when all those chemicals have died down, you will be in the same spot that you started in. If you want to learn how to authentically attract an amazing, healthy woman, visit my link in bio, or my course has everything in there for you.
Wait a minute, fam. Did this professional dating coach literally just try to sell her dating course by saying the male dating coaches teach a tactic that works to get women in the sheets? No. Okay, to give her a bit more cred, she did state it was kind of a short-term gain, long-term loss strategy. Unfortunately, in the Queen-created Western dating jungles, it's practically 99% that way by default. This promotion on a course for unicorn hunting sounds like it's going to make a mythical creature magically appear, but let's call it what it is. A strategy with an additional 50 extra steps along with more pitfalls than getting a passport and heading to destinations where Western unicorns are more the norm. As long as you don't bring them back to the West, I mean. I am sure this coach does mean well, but all she really accomplished here was promoting male dating coaches. Moving on.
You just need to put yourself out there. You just need to go on dates. Okay. Let me show you guys the most recent 2 guys who have liked me on the magical app called Hinge. First guy says, I will fall for you if you're plus sized. And the next guy says, I go crazy for plus size women. Now, I do think people genuinely mean well whenever they are encouraging you to put yourself out there and try to go on dates. But I think what maybe some people don't understand, especially being a bigger girl, is we just don't always have the options that maybe some of our friends have. I guess, yes, we can pool, but we pool in a different type of way. Sometimes we have those guys that want to like fetishize. Am I saying that right? Our bodies. We have the guys that want to slide in our DMs. We match with the guys that want us to just come over to their house. We can meet guys at the bar who will want to go home with us. But rarely it feels like, can we find the guys that actually want to take us out on a date? So I have this one guy that I matched with on Bumble about like a year ago. When we first matched, we were actually like texting. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I think he's going to actually like ask me out on a date. Nar. Which is fine, whatever. We still somewhat keep in contact, but only over Snapchat. I don't want to hear it. I know it's red flags. I know Snapchat is red flags, but I do have some guys that I like to keep on Snapchat just to like, you know, for a confidence boost.
Oh me, oh my. Somebody call a ambulance. We have a dire mercy of a woman complaining she can't pull in a Chad/Tyrone to take her on a date because of her size. Sister, do you know why men tend not to really feel a mountain of sympathy for you?
How come? Tell me why! Say it! Say it!
It's because the privilege you have is nearly oblivious to you. Heck, she said it herself. Plus size girls do pull. I promise you, her male equivalent wishes he could pull half what she can do. Ladies, do you really expect for the waterworks to flow out for a girl who can get attention even if it's not from the tier of men she likes? Cry me a river already. Here's an idea. Why doesn't this plus-size queen make a profile only demanding plus-size men who could relate to her struggles a little bit better? Would that be considered too much of a wild demand to make? If she is evidently requiring the quality of an individual's character over, I don't know, superficial factors such as a guy's size.
No. But anyways, this guy always asks me to hang out, but he will only invite me over to his house. And this has been ongoing for like a year. And I have told him multiple times, like, I don't feel comfortable coming to your house. Like, I'd rather just go for drinks. In fact, there was one time where I actually was like, you know what? I'm bored with my life. Let's spice it up. Okay, I will come over. Man never followed through. I was like, okay, I'm never agreeing to hang out with this man ever again unless he literally wants to take me on a date. And I'm at the point where I've been there, done that with like matching with the guy, going to their house, them coming to mine. I mean, literally just the other day, he hit me up and he was like, I have like all this tequila, like if you want to ever come over. I was like, dude, like we have talked about this, like it's not happening. I don't know. And it just makes me think like over the last year, not once has he ever thought like, okay, like I'll just take this girl out. But then at another point, he proceeds to tell me that whenever he matches with girls on dating apps, he knows right away if it's going to be a girl that he wants to take out or if he wants to just hang out. I was like, you realize that like you never asked me out? It was like, oh yeah, well, I did want to go out with you, but I don't remember the reason why we didn't. Basically, my point in saying all this is that sometimes there's just not dates for us to go on, and there's nothing we can do about it. That's my rant for the day.
And there is nothing we can do about it. How about if you are going to continue to rant about the difficulties of being a plus-size woman, you could decide not to be one anymore. I'm not saying this to claim there is something negative of her right now. What I am saying is if she continues to complain about the treatment she gets in the modern dating jungle of the plus-size woman weight class, she can move down to a different weight class division and experience a different caliber of dating. You know, there are two basic decisions you can make about your issues. Either do something about it or don't do anything about it. Unfortunately, there is a recognizable percentage of queens that think shaming and complaining others about their own issues is doing something about it. That would be no. Let me put it this way, ladies. If you were in this young woman's situation, which course of action do you think would show more positive results? A, making about 20 more videos complaining on online to thousands of strangers on big girl dating difficulties? Or B, joining a local gym, following a few workout videos specified for the areas you would like to tone down in, and swapping out about a half dozen full meals a week with a salad?
Yeah, boy.
Moving on.
In this app in the last year or so that have made it completely garbage. It was originally one of my favorite apps.
I thought it was just me. A few weeks ago, I was just thinking to myself, I had so much fun on the apps like 2-3 years ago when I had just re-entered the dating pool. I was having so much fun. But now it's not fun anymore. What's wrong? What's going on? And then the more I talked to people who are on the apps, not only through the apps, but people I know in real life who are also dating on the apps, I've noticed that they also aren't having fun on the apps anymore. So I was like racking my brain of trying to figure out what is different between now and 2 to 3 years ago. And I was just I guess I was dumb. I've lived in Silicon Valley pretty much my entire life. 2 to 3 years for tech is a very long time. Things change in a matter of months, much less 2 to 3 years. So the algorithm and experience have both changed for not only Hinge, but like all the dating apps.
No shit, lady. You mean to tell us that the dating apps that were and still are geared to give women an unfair advantage have started to lose money because the average Joes started walking away? Oh, shout out to those male passport holders going abroad.
Damn, skip me.
Anyway, those apps realized the algo has to attempt to bring balance to the force, and now the femme-sif lords are upset they no longer have a stranglehold on the dating world. What did you all expect? Nobody rights are free, sister. The pendulum was going to swing the other way eventually. Ladies, I've said this a bunch of times. The bulk of you enjoy dating on recruit difficulty, while men have to date on veteran difficulty from day one. Also, I have to mention the sugar baby market has also shifted some weight on these dating apps. I mean, why would men pay for the premium dating setting on an app when a man can pay a comparable rate for a guaranteed date?
Fatality. Flawless victory.
Couple that with how modern dating culture has evolved to what it is now, I think dating apps are no longer what they used to be. They're no longer tools to actually meet a suitable partner. They are just a money-making machine for these large corporations. My dating philosophy back then, a few years ago, when I re-entered the dating pool was, at least I have a higher chance of having fun than when I'm staying home. But now I'll go on a date and I'm like, that was a complete waste of my time. We are not compatible whatsoever. It's not like I'm not meeting people that I could see a future with. I had been feeling that way for so long that I recently decided that I am no longer going to be on any of the dating apps. And if I'm going to go on a date, it better be someone I meet organically. But because I guess dating culture is the way that it is now, I have been meeting people organically, not really people that I would like to date. And so I've decided to fully pull myself out of the dating pool. So I'm just not going to date for the rest of the year. And I think that is a better use of my time. I would rather spend it with my friends and family and do my own thing. But it's good to know that other people are not having a good time on the apps either, and that it wasn't just me.
Dating apps never really were for finding a long-term suitable relationship. They are apps with paying options. Ladies, do you actually believe men go onto these apps thinking, I'm gonna find the love of my life at a $30 a month subscription rate? No, but they sure can get their whistle blown for that rate Gatorade mixed in with a fifth of vodka. Ladies, let's manage expectations a little better. And to her comment as to why do women not like to date the men they meet organically anymore, that's simple. It's because the bulk of you queens labeled average guys who did cold approach as creeps and threatened them with social media cancellation. On top of that, the M2 movement, and you can slap on top of that even more the everyday men who do get close to you are your basic soy latte betas that are loaded on more estrogen than a plant-based diet. You queens created this dating mess, not the apps. But hey, at least all of you queens can talk amongst each other about how the Chads/Tyrones you shagged ain't ish. Or you all carpool to the child support office.
Now that's a lot of damage.
Moving on.
If you're anything like me, where you're kind of a certified lover girl, and you know historically you have a pattern of being infatuated with men, even before exclusivity, which leads you to idealizing these men, I feel like you should try roster dating, because I'm all the above, and I went roster dating. I dated about 6 guys in 8 to 10 days. At first, I did it for the ha-has. I did it for the trend of roster dating. Like, I'm hot. I deserve to go on many dates. Then I learned something very special about myself. I went on dates with many different kind of guys. Like, I met someone who had amazing boyfriend qualities. He was such a gentleman, opened the doors, planned dates, texted me consistently. Also met other types of guys. Extremely intimidating work ethic, which I thought was hot and sexy, because we love an ambitious man. I realized that the way I feel about guys really determines how attracted I am to them. If I come on here and I'm like, oh my god, I met this guy and he did X, Y, and Z for me, the more I admire them, the hotter they get to me. The reason why this happens is because I'm so used to dating one person at a time. Like, I only have my eyes on them. So obviously everything they do, I'm like, wow, look at you. Like, it was never about how they treat me. It was always like, how am I perceiving you, and how is the world around me going to perceive you, which is going to be a reflection of me. Girl, false. Because you know what I learned? While roster dating, I realized that I'm very capable of picking out these little things in men that I admire about them.
Roster dating, aka right in the carousel, aka
Him, her, him, bodies.
well, I am sure this queen, among many others like her, can justify racking up more mileage than a freight truck and collecting more bodies than a Chicago mortician. But the one thing she doesn't recognize about roster dating is, for men, it raises their SMV. For women, it lowers their SMV. Ladies, think of it in terms of carpentry. A good hammer can pound a lot of nails and will still be wanted in a tool belt. A nail that has been pounded and pulled too many times is passed up on.
How dare you?
Another thing, since when does you being genetically gifted with physical attractiveness give you a free pass to thottery without accountability of your own actions? Rhetorical question, fam. It doesn't. Ladies, do you actually think that you can slobber on a high number of pickles and not be worried of the side effects of all that salty juice?
6 people I dated. You can ask me what I liked about them, and I can probably give you an answer, because these guys weren't terrible. They had great qualities. But then I started realizing that me admiring men is not special and unique. Like, girl, it took me roster dating to realize that me being interested and fascinated in someone is not me being attracted to someone. Like, those are not the same. Instead, the biggest indicator of what makes me feel more attracted to them is when I can tell that these men are working extra hard to figure out how can they admire me. Are they asking the right questions to get to know how my life has panned out? How do I emotionally react to the events in my life so that they can better get to know me, and also they can understand how they can support me when I'm going through these emotional decisions. And I'll tell you, in the guys that I've met while I was roster dating, I did catch glimpses of that. So I know it's possible. And I know that's why I was a little bit more interested in some of these guys than others. I deserve to meet someone who is as excited to admire me as I am to them. I still think, like, obviously I want to admire my partner. I just think that comes very easily for me and should not be an indicator of how interested I am in this other person. I want to meet someone who's like so excited to get to know me. As much as I can say that roster dating was not for me, and I don't think I can ever handle dating like that, I think any girl or guy who like kind of experiences what I'm experiencing should definitely try roster dating. Like, you can learn so much about yourself.
Sister, if a man has to work extra hard to find something about you that is admirable, then you aren't that admirable. In fact, ladies, let me give you some game here for free. Men are not going to look for a wow factor in women as women do in men, because we are not attracted to the same things. What men do look for are red flags. The fewer you have, the better of a mate selection you are. Let's put it this way. Women would be impressed if a man is a lawyer. Men will be happy knowing you are a low-maintenance woman. See the difference there, ladies?
Same, but different. But still same.
And again, a queen who self-admitted to roster dating a multitude of men has somehow come up with the conclusion in her noggin that she deserves the type of guy she wants. Yeah, I can also say I think I deserve a movie deal like the kaiju-sized King Kong gorilla. But that ain't happening. The difference is I am not telling Hollywood what to spend their money on. But queens like this one have zero problems telling men what to spend their resources on. But giving her some credit, she did wrap it up, no pun intended, by saying she couldn't handle roster dating like that again. Oof, I hope that means those tires still have some traction.
How about new?
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.